This episode of the All About Nothing podcast is sponsored by Everplay Sports and Social's 11th Masters of Putt-Putt at Frankie's Fun Park on March 28th. Registration is open now through March 27th. Visit everplaysocial.com for details.
I'll top of the morning to ya. I'm Liam the Leprechaun, and I've got a wee secret to share. ZJZDesigns.com has just unveiled their brand new St. Patrick's Day apparel. Featuring yours truly, of course. From cheeky tees to lucky prints, these designs are brimming with charm and plenty of gold. Whether you're heading to a parade or just feeling the Irish spirit, you look grand in these threads. So what are you waiting for? Skip the rainbow and head straight to ZJZDesigns.com. You'll find the pot of gold in your cart. No magic required. ZJZDesigns.com. Where style is always in season.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 298. I am Barrett Gruber, joined by Zac King. Good morning, Zac. How are you?
I have leapt into the future by 1 hour, Barrett. What is the past like?
Oh, shit. Not good. It's not good. No.
It wasn't good when I was there either.
So. It wasn't, yeah.
No. Hey, the future, not looking any better.
Yeah. There's a gray tint to it. Everything sort of just it's hazy, and we're not sure where we're going. Please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, please consider supporting the show financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com and becoming an official member and proudly calling yourself a true nothinger. We'll have more details on that at the end of the show. Can't do that. Please give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us across social media. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. Want to thank Chad Peace of the Independent Voter Project. You can visit independentvoterproject.org for more information on everything they're doing. Their mission, basically, is to bring all of the non-party affiliate voters into the mix by, having policies.
A brand new third party.
Yeah. Well, or yeah. I mean, essentially to sort of encompass all of, and I can't speak for you, but I don't always feel like a Democrat because I don't always agree with the Democrats. Sometimes
I don't like Chuck Schumer at all.
Yeah, me neither. But I sometimes I agree with some of the things that are said on the conservative side. So
right.
It's sort of just fall in the middle of the things, but call out the absurdity and the extremists on both sides. I'm not a Chuck Schumer. I like Adam Schiff. I don't like Chuck Schumer. So
well,
I guess
even though they have good ideas, you're not helping anybody when they're up there talking or making these TikToks and stuff.
No,
Chuck Schumer, you're old. Go.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah.
Go get somebody else to jump in there.
Absolutely ready for a brand new, just absolute whole party. Well, I mean, I'd like to see like the AOCs, and
right.
I don't know. I take that back. I think I almost always do pretty much agree with AOC when it comes to AOC, what her stance is.
Well, she's probably part of that. She's not really feeling so Democrat all the time, but that's the only option you got, right?
Yeah. And I like the representative out of Minnesota. What's her name? Tlaib, or I do. Yeah. So anyway, but big thanks to Chad Peace for being on the show last week. Very appreciative of that. It is the week of March 16th. You know what that means, Zac?
No, my twins are going to be 1.
Your twins are going to be 1.
And you're going to be like 50.
Fuck's sake. I appreciate that you get so much pleasure out of that. And even like noticing, like when I shave my beard, the first thing that comes in is the gray and white.
Yeah, he goes, my chin just pale. Oh no, that's the gray hair coming through.
Yeah. Essentially, it's more transparent. I mean, I can feel it. It's all here, but anyway, it is Mustache March or March Mustache Month. Yeah, Zac's got his going. We'll have to do this again when Super Troopers 3 comes out, because I've already talked to Dustin. We're planning a movie night to go and watch it, and which means edibles and mustaches.
Oh, what is this movie about? I don't even remember.
Second one was hilarious.
Oh, it's
Second one
over.
was hilarious.
It was hilarious. People who didn't like it, you were just wrong.
Hey, we got a check-in from our good friend Luke Basso, who, of course, is the a gentleman that we've had on several times.
Man, I thought you were talking about a check. I need one of those checks, not a check-in.
Yeah, you mean our $2,000 checks that Donald Trump promised as a refund for all of the spending? Money. Yeah, the tariff money that we had to pay for.
Well, let's check in with Luke real quick, and then we'll start talking about.
Yeah, Luke Basso of Filmperia is checking in with us.
Hello, this is Luke Basso, the founder of the Filmperia YouTube channel. Right now I'm in Kyiv, and this is my last day here on March 7th. I conducted a few interviews with some veterans of the war in Ukraine to put on my YouTube channel. I spent the last few days here getting a tour of the capital, meeting veterans, interviewing veterans, and exploring Ukrainian culture. Yesterday we had a ballistic missile strike in Kyiv. I spent a few hours in the bomb shelter, and that's just a taste of what the Ukrainian people are going through almost every single day. When I go on the podcast, I'll be able to talk about more of my experience in Ukraine as an American citizen.
Yeah, I tried to, when he sent me a picture of himself and others gathered in a bomb shelter, you know me, I tried to talk him into doing a live right then.
So if you die, we get it on video? Like, come on, Barrett, you're so wrong.
I don't remotely disagree at all. I just kept thinking
the whole time
issues.
he was talking, what a beautiful day.
Look, this is an image from a bomb shelter. I think I sent to you, but underneath the city of Kyiv, where they were down there for hours because of a ballistic missile attack from Russia.
You know what's drawing me about that picture? The couches.
That means they're prepared.
Yeah, but look at them. They're like, are they? What would you call that? Avant-garde?
Let me see if I can pull it back up again. Would you call that avant-garde? Honestly, I think that maybe, but I'll be honest. I think because of the economic impacts that have happened to Ukraine over the course of since '89.
Yeah. Well, and that looks like a space heater.
Yeah. Space heater down there. They're wearing jackets. So I have to imagine.
Sure, it's cold in Ukraine.
Yeah. So, absolutely exceptional human being, Luke Basso, and make sure to check out his YouTube page, Filmperia. I will put links in the show notes as we have done before when we've had Luke on, and we'll have Luke on at some point here in the future so that he can tell us all about his experience over there in Ukraine. He went to interview veterans and active military of the Ukraine-Russian war, and I can't wait to hear from him. So, how was your week, Zach? Honestly,
it was pretty good.
Yeah. So, I want to give you an honest recap of my week, and ultimately, in the end, I would have to say that it was extremely disappointing. It was pretty much just a shit week because my company has also now experienced some of the economic downturn and has laid off 10% of I'd say 10%. That's an estimate of the employees. And it's extremely disappointing for me because some of the people that we lost are just exceptional employees. They were, even though they weren't necessarily on projects, it's still crushing to have to let go and say goodbye to some people, not because they had performance issues, not because they weren't, being the best employees that they could, but because as a lot of companies here in the United States are suffering from economic issues. And all we keep hearing about from the Trump administration is that market is booming. We hit 50,000. The S&P is up. The Dow Jones is up.
Dow is at 50,000.
Yeah. And ultimately it's it's extremely difficult to get through a lot of that and hold your head high, because for me, I am suffering from survivor's guilt, because I lucked out. I didn't luck out. That's not. I met with HR on Friday, and it wasn't luck. It was a desire by other department to have me join them. Which, that's an ego boost, but at the same time, I'm having to say goodbye to so many people that could potentially come back one day. If the market gets better, then we'll see them again, maybe. But it's heart-wrenching to have to say, to let these people go for what seems like absolutely no reason to me except for budget.
Right.
I think that is true for a lot of the companies that are facing, uncertain times. And for the people that are let go, just know that if it has happened to you, our hopes is that you land on your feet somewhere. I think I've been laid off from. I've been affected by layoffs 4 times in my 30 some years of working. So I certainly have experienced and know what it's like to go through that as well. I can say I've always landed on my feet. Sometimes it took a little longer than it did than it should have, or that I would have hoped for it to, but it did always work out. So
yeah, it's never a fun position to be in, or have to even experience, vicariously. So I do feel for those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, it was a shit week because you bought your first home a few years ago.
Almost 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Wow. Well, yeah. I'm on year 25 of living in this house.
About to build a new one, so this is great.
So 25 years, of course, you're going to experience sometimes there are going to need to be repairs, things go wrong, you have to whatever.
Indubitably.
This is a minor issue that turned into more of a panic attack for me, because so my shower in the master bedroom about 2 weeks ago started dripping. It was just a single drip about every minute or so. Then it increased to about every 30 seconds. Then it was every 10 seconds. Then it was every 5 seconds.
Then the shower was on?
Shower was off.
No, I said, and then it was like as if the shower was on.
Yeah, I mean, it became, and it wasn't that I was worried about how much water was draining, because I was catching all of the water to sort of just measure like how quickly this was going on.
And then you drank it?
Fuck, if I had... You could. It's shower head water. It's fine.
This is for the dog.
No, I don't have my whiteboard here in front of me. I think it's downstairs. But I actually started measuring how much water was actually dripping, as it increased, which is very
this is a
nerd
problem.
of me.
This is a big problem.
Yeah. And so that all is, in my opinion, the minor part of it. It's not that big a deal. The issue came yesterday when I said, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this problem and let's take care of it. So I watched a couple YouTube videos on how to replace the cartridge.
I guess? Is it a diverter valve?
Yeah. Well, it's the monitor valve that goes into the.
Is it a T one where you can't just replace the guts of it?
No. Thankfully, because these are basically modular homes and ultimately, sure. So they use, it's all Delta, yeah. And so I tackled it, and I took the hardware off of the wall. I get to the point where I'm having to remove the cartridge, but on all the videos, they make it seem like a little bit of pressure, it'll just pop right out. For a cartridge for a monitor cartridge that was in there for 25 years, no, I had to break that shit into little bitty pieces in order to get it out. Yeah. Thankfully, my good friend Scott came over, and he actually had done this before, And he said, look, he said, everything that's inside that cylinder. Oh, let me not do that again. Everything that's inside that cylinder, he said, is the replaceable piece. So he's like, let's just tear it up, just break it apart, throw away the pieces, whatever. And it'll be perfectly fine. So did that, broke it apart, got all of it out there, took some sandpaper and just made sure that inside the brass, everything was clean and smooth.
I'm seeing a montage happening right now, you and Scott.
Yeah.
We're just working for the minute.
The issue, the thing that made me panic the most was actually replacing the part. Lowe's had it. So I went to Lowe's, I get the replacement cartridge. I bring it back and Scott says, that one has a blue end. The one we took out has a white end. You need to you need to go back and get the white one. And I said, okay. So I go back to Lowe's. Now these are $70, $75 a piece. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I need the white one.
Yeah.
Where
so
is it?
I go back in there, I get the white one. Okay. And I have the receipts to prove it. So
Okay.
I get the white one. I bring it back home. And as I'm pulling it out of the package, I notice, well, the package has been opened before. So clearly someone has returned this before. They've made the same mistake as I have. And when I open the package, I noticed that the plastic housing is it's cracked all the way around. The thing is like free floating in my hand. And so I'm like, I got to go take this back.
I would be furious.
It was the last one on the shelf too.
The fact that I had to go 3 times to Lowe's.
Oh no. So yeah. So went once to get the one, came home, went back, had a broken one, came home, or I was home and went back to Lowe's to replace it. So, but I went to a different Lowe's this time because the Lowe's I went to only had one left on the shelf.
Where'd you go?
So
you went over here by my neck of the woods?
No, I went to West Columbia the first 2 times. I went to Lexington the third time. So I go to Lexington, go back there. I can't find it on the shelf. A woman was kind enough to help me out, but but we both acknowledged that it said there should be 5 in stock. And she's like, okay, so for some reason it's just
Sorry,
not
fella.
on it's just not on the shelf. But she tells me that there's a good possibility because there's not room on the shelf for it, that it's in one of the Delta boxes up on top of the thing. So from the floor, and I'm wearing my prescription sunglasses.
She's trying to get you behind an alone.
No, we were up in the regular aisle.
You want to see what's under this apron, big boy?
It was pretty empty in there.
I think I got that filter cartridge you're looking for.
That's going to make me not sleep tonight.
Ding, 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 ding.
So we're scanning across all of these boxes that just have, item numbers written on them. We find it. So she has to go to the back of the store to get the ladder, comes back with the ladder.
One?
Yeah, the big tall ladder. So
Yeah.
she goes up top. Sure enough.
Shaking it while she's climbing.
the five that are supposed to be in stock are in this box up on top because there wasn't any room for it to be on the shelves. All right. So I get it. It is the white one that I need. And I come back home with it. And when I try to put it into the brass cylinder to plug it in, it doesn't fit. I pull it back out. I look at the pieces of the one that we just took off and I match the bottoms up and they don't match. Like it's like, this is the new one and this is the old one. And I'm like, all right. So another trip to Lowe's, but this time I go back to the West Columbia Lowe's because I know they had blue ones.
And that lady that was trying to cost you wasn't there.
Right. I knew they had them because I had just returned one. So 4 trips to Lowe's.
Nope.
Finally come home with the right size one, plug that sucker in, put the hardware back on there. I get one of my daughters on the walkie-talkie I go back. That's the other thing. I have to go out to the street, and West Columbia Public Works, stop listening at this point. You're not going to be interested in this. I go out to the street to turn the water off at the beginning of this. So no water to the house. I had to go back out to the street to turn the water on. And thankfully I've got one of those water tools that the wrench that you turn the water off and on to the street. So turn the water back on. Daughter's on the walkie-talkie. I said, is it dripping? And she says, no. I said, okay, turn the shower on and let it run. Make sure it's running. Okay. Turn the water on to hot. Make sure that the hot comes on. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, now turn it off. And by this point, I come inside. We let it sit and let it drain like it normally does. And all said and done, it's fixed. I have no more drip in the bathroom, in my shower, which is great because it was the sound. That was what bothered me the most, was the sound.
And you let Scott take a shower first just to test it out to repay him for the help.
Scott was home.
How's
by
that feel,
then.
buddy? How's that feel, buddy? Is that good hot water? You like that shower?
Scott was home by then.
I insist Scott get in the shower first.
Scott and I, we parted ways after we got all the hardware out of the brass. So,
well, he probably was like, Barrett, I have a rule: 3rd time to Lowe's, I fucking quit.
He didn't make these trips to Lowe's with me.
I know. He's like, no project it's doomed if you go 3 times to Lowe's.
Yeah, and Lowe's is. I have had such a hate relationship with Lowe's, because despite the fact that Lowe's almost always has what I need, I'm always disappointed in the fact that their app does not clearly tell you where things are in the store. It's almost always wrong.
It generically can tell you this is where it should be.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a plumbing section that's up near the front where they have, like the PVC pipes and fittings and stuff like that. But then there's another plumbing section where it's like the hardware for toilets and showers and things like that, sinks, whatever. So, and ultimately now I've learned this is where I'm going to find these parts. This is where I'm going to find these parts. And, but their app should be better. And I don't know if it's because of the store, and the store just clearly marks it incorrectly when they put the stuff on the shelves. But it's so frustrating. And you can't, it is, besides the help that I got yesterday at the Lexington store, which I wish that I'd gotten her name, but she was amazing, and I appreciate
Marianne.
I appreciate all the help that she gave me. But
so you have to keep grabbing your ass while you're walking down the aisle.
Right. She kept bumping me with the the damn thing.
If you want to hop on, I'll push.
Oh, she was a smaller young lady, so I don't think that.
I'm thinking it's like an old lady who's like, I've been around the block and I know everything there is to know.
I'm just being kind. She was clearly older than I was, and
wow.
And I don't want to, crap. I'm trying to. I got this thing pulled up on my screen, but I can't go back to. There we go.
That's what you get for your fancy new screen.
Yeah, it is a fancy, nice new monitor. So
did you see, Barrett, that Nintendo is suing Donald Trump and the Donald Trump administration for the tariffs?
Yeah,
because it lost them money with the launch of the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah, and they're absolutely deserving of the money that they will get, that they should get from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to come in the form of tax breaks or something like that for them, because I find it hard to believe that anyone involved in the Trump administration is just going to willingly, even if a lawsuit comes about, let's say Nintendo wins the lawsuit, which there is a lawsuit. Let's say Nintendo and all of these other companies, Costco included, that have taken a hit from the tariffs, that didn't necessarily pass those costs on to their customers, or didn't at least initially pass those costs. Walmart, the same. I'll give Walmart shit all the time, because I think the Waltons are absolutely one of the worst representations of human beings on the planet. But
take that, Sam Walt.
But in the beginning of all of this, they didn't necessarily pass those costs on to the customers immediately. It took a little while for it to eventually start to happen, but they recognize they make $10 billion in profit a year. They have shrinkage built into their budget. So, I applaud the fact that they didn't do that initially. They did eventually do it. Costco had to. Nintendo had what was an abysmal launch of their Switch 2. Abysmal enough to say that I didn't get mine until what? When did it come out? Last year. Regardless.
I can't remember.
I didn't get mine until about a month ago. So, that just, because I'm a day one guy normally.
I was like day 3 on this bad boy.
Yeah. So I don't think that I think that even if a judge comes and or makes a judgment and says that the federal government needs to pay these companies back for the losses, I don't suspect that they're ever going to do it. You know,
I say fuck the companies. We paid for it at the end of the day. Like, so Nintendo didn't pass it on to us. You're charging $80 for a game.
Yeah.
Did it. Give us the money back because our groceries were more expensive. Everything was more expensive.
Yeah.
You go to Lowe's, it was more expensive. Everything was more expensive. Cut us that check you were talking about, Donnie Boy.
And it's all a result of his mismanagement of the economy. And this,
because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a fundamentally
idiot. He is fundamentally an idiot. I am amazed at the number of videos and posts from what I see are claiming to be individuals who are professional medical professionals. One individual that I keep reposting is a doctor out of Atlanta who works specifically with Alzheimer's patients and treatment of physical ailments and whatnot from dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that. And he fundamentally, like, everything that he says that looks like that Trump is going through, as far as like symptoms and things like that, it's either frontal temporal dementia or it's untreated syphilis, which both could be true. In fact,
and hopefully both are true.
You heard about this rash on his neck?
Yeah, I saw that picture, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't get to see it yet.
So it's either what the White House is claiming it to be, Trump's personal doctor.
It's the shingles.
Well, he's claiming that it is pre-treatment for. I guess I didn't read enough into it. As soon as I saw where he was denying that it was actually anything like medical, he claims that it's some sort of a pre-treatment on his neck for something. Which, go look it up yourself.
Rash-inducing pre-treatment?
Yeah. So, but what experts in those fields, let's just say people who claim to be professionals in the field of medicine and
of which we don't claim.
Yeah, I absolutely do not claim this. I'm simply going off of what I've seen. So, I recognize that all things are possible in the world of Trump. That's the world we live in. But
all things.
There is. It could either be shingles. It could be. I think somebody joked that he was shaking hands with people's with his neck. He was shaking hands with people. He was shaking people's hands with his neck because that's the only thing that wasn't quite bruised. In my head, what that meant was they're doing the Homer Simpson on Bart Simpson thing, Donald Trump. Which
why you
take pictures of that, please. Video pictures. I just want to see that. But the other thing that some of the people, experts that proclaimed experts are saying is that it is untreated gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea of the neck.
Well, that's one of the symptoms of gonorrhea is rashes. So
there's a presidential dick hammer that he has to use every night.
I have no idea. I don't know how you treat gonorrhea. Never had it.
So from my understanding is you have to like lay your junk down and hit it with a hammer.
What?
And get it all out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Look, fellas out there, listen, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Don't get gonorrhea. I'll make better choices if you're not.
Go over a couple blocks. If it's a locality thing, just adjust. That's all.
Don't let one night of a good time turn into a lifetime of a bad time.
Yeah, exactly. You wanna talk about Kristi Noem?
I haven't even looked into so here's what's funny. She got fired, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Great. She needed to be fired
100%.
Months ago. I suggest she go out to the gravel pit. The other thing is the guy that they hired to replace her wanted to bro fight a guy in a testimony.
Yeah. So just to give you, the president of the Teamsters Union was in a Senate hearing I think talking about unions and things like that. And I don't know what beef the two of them had, but Mark Wayne Mullins, by the way, Mark Wayne, that is two names with the space removed to create one name. Mark Wayne Mullins is a senator from Oklahoma. He owned, I guess he took over or was gifted or left by his father a very successful plumbing business, I think, in Oklahoma. Mark Wayne Mullins was also an MMA fighter. I don't know that he made it all the way up to the I'm going to get to wrestle on the White House grounds sort of stature, but
I'll sure as hell try it in Congress.
Right. And during a hearing with the president of the Teamsters Union, and I'm guessing that these two must have exchanged some pleasantries on Twitter at some point, because Mark Wayne Mullins said, "We're two consenting adults. We can take care of this right now." And Teamsters Union guy, the president of the Teamsters Union is like, "All right, let's go." And he goes, "You want to go? Let's go." Senator Bernie, and Mark Wayne Mullins stands up like he's gonna fight this guy. This guy looked like Uncle Fester at like 6 foot.
He was an old man. Yeah,
but he was huge. Like he looked
the Teamster guy.
Yeah.
Was he? I just saw he was bald and old.
Let me. I have to. I don't have my keyboard in front of me.
A lot of things should be solved by Mortal Kombat, in my opinion. But I'm not being saying, the only one to do it and start it.
I'm not saying it's always appropriate, but sometimes maybe it's appropriate. But yeah, so Senator Bernie Sanders, shout out to you, Bernie, love you. He had to break this thing up by basically tell you are a United States Senator, sit down.
Before I come over there and drop the hammer on your ass. The Hebrew hammer.
I'm not sure how Bernie Sanders' voice impression turned into, I don't know, let's say Gandalf the Grey. Bilbo. So that is sort of the idea of what Mark Wayne Mullins is.
It's a shit show. Like I'm so happy Kristi Noem is gone, but you think her fucking replacement's going to be any better?
Yeah.
No.
So Kristi Noem Kristi Noem was fired by Trump via Truth Social, which I love.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
This is absolutely where specifically Donald Trump as president of the United States should be firing all of his secretaries
from the toilet via Truth Social.
I think it ultimately is the most appropriate place for him to do that. That's 100%. But this is funny. ABC reported it, so I'm gonna share ABC's. If I do it right, I'll share what ABC said, because she was giving a speech in I guess in Nashville or something like that. And at that time was when Donald Trump actually ousted her while she was giving a speech in front of, whatever. I don't know. You know what? It's not playing. It's not that big a deal. Well, but it's a funny thing.
Yeah. There was one where she was testifying in Congress again, I believe. But the one senator was asking her about the $200 million ad campaign that
ultimately
all of them featured her predominantly. You have to answer that, because that was her choice. That she thinks she's hot stuff and it's going to lure. And maybe it worked, Barrett, because they weren't getting the cream of the crop of border agents over there.
I would suspect there is no cream to the crop.
I just saw a new advertisement, had a lady wearing a cowboy hat, had nothing to do with Kristi Noem, and it was right after I saw that in Congress. I was like, did they go through and just wiped away all of Kristi Noem's ads?
Or replaced her with AI or something?
Yeah. So I was like, what is this, a park ranger? And it was like Border Patrol. I was like, oh no.
So the whole thing of why Donald Trump fired her was she was in front of the Senate this week, and they were beating her up pretty good on this whole thing. John Kennedy
it was
from Louisiana
the Senate.
too.
That's what she
yeah,
was.
it was a Senate hearing.
Okay. It was a Senate hearing. That's what it was.
And the question was raised by Kennedy from Louisiana, and he asked her. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, did Donald Trump approve $220 million on this ad blitz?
That's it.
And ultimately, after asking several times, she finally said, yes, Donald Trump approved it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump catches wind of this, doesn't like that he's being blamed for the spending of $220 million in taxpayer money to either promote Department of Homeland Security, which again doesn't need promotion, or
Kristi
Noem, who doesn't need promotion. She and the late night hosts on this are absolutely perfect with it, because they go through and they make fun of all of the costumes that she has to dress up in for these, because she's been a cowboy or a cowgirl, or a cow them. has been a firefighter. She's been a construction worker. She has been, it's countless.
In her governor campaign.
Yeah, in her governor campaign.
She was a construction worker. Yeah.
She's a cosplay governor is essentially what it is. Yeah. In fact, I think and I may be remembering this incorrectly, so don't quote me on it, but I think I remember Kristi Noem displays herself as some sort of construction worker talking about homes being built in South Dakota. This is a governor's ad and whatnot. So, but she comes in with this nail gun, and in my head, she puts the nail gun on her shoulder while there's active construction going on around her. She's got this nail gun on her shoulder, and in my head, all I imagine is trigger, 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 and all of the construction, all of the construction workers are just fleeing, because there's just random nails being fired all around them. Because seems
you do have to depress the front of it, but if Kristi Noem was on set, I'd get duct tape and just make that depressor go down so it will fire.
Strap a grenade to it.
Apropos of that, if you're ever working construction with me, don't use a nail gun around me.
Oh.
I don't do anything, but my sheer presence. I've been involved with 2 people while working construction who've shot themselves with a nail gun. First was my dad. We were building the garage. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that it wasn't my fault. Nothing happened. I'm just there. But he's like, I hear him go, ow! He
just kept going.
He did.
I love your
stop.
dad.
And then he was like, I was like, Dad, did you shoot yourself with a nail gun? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, are you going to come down? He goes, in a minute. Just kind of, and he finished it. Literally, that joker was in the bottom, and you could see like a little tip coming out of his fingernail. And he's sitting there trying to pull it out, and he can't because it's in the bone. He's sitting there smoking a cigarette. There's pictures of it somewhere, and he's like, look at this. Look at this. This is so cool. I'm like, not cool. I would be throwing up right now. Then I was working construction with my friend Phil. It's Keith's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And there's a joist, and I'm holding up one side, and he's tacking up the other, and he goes, he's screaming.
He's stigmata himself.
It's in the side. So it goes through like in one side of the finger and out the other like that.
Oh, okay.
And what was bad is he was stuck. He's on a ladder and he's pinned to the board with his hand like around it. And he's like, I got to get down this fucking heavy, but he can't. And so he's like, get the Sawzall and cut the nail. I was like, Phil, this is the worst idea you've ever had. Yeah. So he's like, just do it. I'm like, goddamn, Phil, I'll start it. You're going to start screaming. So I went and started hitting the nail with it. He's like, it's hot. I'm like, yeah, I know. And so finally,
cauterization's fine. That's nothing to worry about.
I had to get our boss on the phone, and I was like, you have to hurry, bring those bolt cutters because they weren't on our site. And he had to come over and free him with the bolt cutter.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, dude. Day ended early that one. I was like, I can use a nail gun fine. I've never shot myself with the thousands of nails that I've sent through a nail gun. But if I'm there, be extra cautious because I bring some kind of voodoo with me that you're going to shoot yourself.
I'm not asking you to come do construction in my house. That's you're safe.
I'll do it. Just don't touch the nail gun.
They're fair. So just to give to explain what happened then, Kristi Noem admits under Senate in the Senate under what do they call under oath. She has to tell the truth. And she eventually gets to the point where she says, yes, Donald Trump approved this. She said, we had meetings about this. And then eventually, after Senator Kennedy from Louisiana asks and says, did Donald Trump approve this? She says, yes, Donald Trump approved it. Okay. Gets back to Donald Trump. This $220 million taxpayer-funded ad blitz did not look good. It makes Donald Trump look bad, especially the fact that Kristi Noem, under oath in the Senate hearing, claims that Donald Trump approved it. So what does Donald Trump do? Well, he fires her and says, I never heard of this. I didn't know anything about this.
I think she's a liar, a guy of a naughty girl.
Yeah. So I'm going to make this claim. I fully believe that Donald Trump approved the spending of $220 million for Kristi Noem and the Department of Homeland Security's ad blitz. It was $220 million in taxpayer spending that basically put Kristi Noem into a bunch of costumes, fly her around the country, and make all of these silly ads promoting an executive branch department that needs no promoting. If you're going to promote some departments, let's do some that actually benefit those departments and the country. The Department of Veterans Affairs, promote them, promote the Department of Labor. Like these two departments are absolutely fundamental in how well our country does. And if you got to do a third one, do the Department of Interior. Tell people to go visit our national parks,
Yeah, that's essentially like doing a $200 million ad campaign for NASA as if everyone doesn't know what the fuck NASA is already.
Right. And I think $220 million is way outside of their budget that they're allowed,
Yeah. No, NASA has like a 1% of the budget allocated to them or something?
It's tiny. I mean, it's in the billions, but it's tiny. And ultimately I think NASA should be the representation of our atmospheric exploration. Like NOAA and NASA should be working together when it comes to things here terrestrial. When it comes to outside of our atmosphere, NASA should absolutely be it. But I think that the only way that we are going to really truly advance our science and exploration outside of our atmosphere is going to be through private industry.
That's the only affordable way to do it.
Yeah.
But funding NASA brings you all the shit we have now, right? Going to the moon brings you your calculators and your computers, and you need that progress of exploration and science in general to push everything forward. If they had even bigger budget to go do some of the inspirational discovery and pushing the frontier, our technology would take those leaps that we've experienced, you and I especially growing up from the 80s all the way to the millennium to now. I don't think in our lifetime, in our kids' lifetime, I don't know that there's going to be a technological jump like this.
Yeah.
From a landline to a computer in your hand that can take pictures and do everything. I don't know that is going to happen because of all of that, the privatization of it. Because if they discover Elon Musk with SpaceX, if he discovers something really cool and they invent through their, going to Mars or whatever, they're just going to put a price tag on it and sell the shit out of it or keep it and not do that when NASA is America's essentially, and they have a right to kind of put that out there.
Yeah.
An obligation. I mean, not a right, but an obligation.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately I recognize that as being one of the issues that would make it more difficult for me to just accept that private funding is what is going to get us to Mars or get us beyond, the asteroid belt or whatever. And that sucks, but I just don't think that our federal government, whether it's an extremely progressive president and legislature that sees the exploration of space as a necessity, getting to the moon, Saturn's moon Titan, getting to that moon, figuring out if there is the potential that under this, absolutely immense layer of ice, is there actually water? And I think they know that there's water. But is there life in that water?
Right. So
And
you're talking about Europa?
is it Europa? Where's Titan?
Mhm.
Titan's Jupiter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is Europa, but that's the whole thing. You don't go to Europa. I think that was 2020 Space Odyssey or 2001 Space Odyssey. The thing is too, Barrett, think about this. If you can find the technology and the way to feasibly move through space and, in and out of atmospheres, the money is out there for mining these things to go get your asteroids and go to these other moons and stuff. That's a big boon. So you can go get all those rare elements that these asteroids and stuff have and bring it back to Earth and create more technology that way. I mean, that's how you become stage 1 civilization, right? Which we're on the cusp of, is using every fundamental resource possible in your planet that you can, and then moving into your own solar system.
Yeah.
And working your way onto 2 to 3 to 4 where there's Dyson spheres and shit. But I think that industry's out there. I mean, that's why billionaires do this shit, right? Yeah. Robert Bigelow, I know that he's insane because he has like an escape plan. If shit goes down, he can go live in space or something.
Yeah, he's at that one rocket that launches into space with him alone and enough food to last him to the end of his life or whatever, and enough water. Or
whatever he
systems.
found on a Skinwalker Ranch, some teleportation.
I mean, he abandoned Skinwalker Ranch at eventually.
He sold it. He's like, I got everything I needed.
That's right. That's right. New season coming up. I don't know. I think that for the most part, 99.9% of us are going to be left out of whatever is to come when it comes to the exploration beyond our planet. Is that we're going to watch the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos of the world basically, exploit whatever's out there. But
we're going to go to space. It's going to be really cool.
It is such a getting people outside of our atmosphere is such a crapshoot. Like,
it's hard.
I don't think it isn't just the rocket launch. Like, it's getting them safely through what is becoming the most disgustingly populated debris field of just space.
That's not an issue though.
There's a lot of space. I'll admit it. But
you could triple it and you're not going to hit any of it.
Really?
It's too big.
But we've got space debris out there that's flying at 17,000, orbiting the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. Why doesn't that stuff just fall to Earth? I mean, I know it's tiny; it'll burn up in the atmosphere. But
so an orbit is falling.
Yeah, that's true. But a more degraded or degraded orbit, I don't know.
Eventually, it will, right?
Yeah,
it will.
It should. Not in our lifetime, probably, but.
Well, what do they call it? It's a decaying orbit. Eventually, it will. It'll come back. I don't know. Get Bill on there. If I start talking physics, there's Bill's going to come get me.
That's right.
I know a lot about physics. I don't know as much as Bill Kimmler about physics.
Yeah. Bill Kimmler's our physics corrector. I mean, I took AP
I'm
physics.
Start naming thermodynamics, Bill, and piss you off.
I understand thermodynamics. Speaking of which, okay, last topic. We'll talk about that. Transitioning to Donald Trump's prayer breakfast. Did you see any of the photos of that?
No.
I'm not going to put them up because, most people listen to this and they're not going to see it anyway, or they've already seen it. But you had like 15 pastors and I don't know what it takes.
Shysters.
I honestly, I want to know, what does it take? How much money does it cost to be able to be one of the pastors that goes to this prayer breakfast and then gets to stand behind the desk in the Oval Office with your hands either on Donald Trump or on another pastor that's on Donald Trump, or if you're like one of the pastors that's in there who his arm, he put his hand around like this of one of the female pastor's arms, but he wasn't touching her. And in my head, I was like, that guy's just like Mike Pence. He's not allowed to touch other women. He can't talk to other women. He can't be in the room with another woman unless that woman is joined by another man. It's very specific rules of engagement when it comes to Mike Pence.
I'm sorry, mother's not here. I can't dance or sing.
But it's it's such an awkward thing. I don't remember, and I'd have to look. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'd have to look. I don't remember there being that sort of event when it came to like Clinton or Bush or Obama
There
or
for
Biden.
sure was.
You think so? There were pastors that would put their hands on the president. Okay,
Definitely
don't
it was
remember.
Bush. I know Obama definitely had his things, and Bill Clinton for sure.
Do you think that all of these pastors are legitimately like praying for, to their God or whatever, that Donald Trump receive divine knowledge and divine intervention and health and things like that in order to keep him on his mission?
I believe they're fully what's the right word? Fully
Invested?
inundated in their delusion.
Yeah.
No, I think they definitely are like, I just think they're dumb, right? And that their objectives are disgusting, and that whatever agenda you're pushing with Donald Trump isn't for the better of anything. It's the propagation of your shit at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them there who are righteous gemstoning the whole fucking thing.
Sure.
And just want money.
Sure.
At the end of the day.
Joel Osteen's sitting in the back just counting money.
Yeah, I mean, it's and there's going to be Christians who listen to this and go like, well, they're not real Christians. Well, that's called a fallacy. That's the no true Scotsman fallacy. You can't have your cake and eat it too in that way. That's your ilk as well. Y'all believe the same fucking things.
Right.
They are focusing on different parts of that book you didn't read than you are. It's disgusting at the end of the day. I think it's perfectly fine to be a person of any kind of faith, but you can get the fuck out of any kind of politics, because when you have one religion dominating it like that, it's not fair to anybody else, and it shows favoritism, and it's just not a good look.
Well, it's not even that it's just not fair. It's also not healthy for a country like ours that strives on differences and diversity, because
this Trump's whole thing is fuck diversity.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. But diversity doesn't, anti-diversity doesn't give us SpaceX, Tesla. It doesn't give us Neuralink. It doesn't. It does away with all of the application. Bluetooth. We don't have Bluetooth if there's no diversity. We don't have computer chips if there's no diversity. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates didn't invent the computer chip. Like
no, these are improved their own designs upon it.
Right. So it's to deny ourselves what ultimately should be a international diversity melting pot that the United States is and should be, is to basically cut off your nose to spite your face. Like, yeah. But to your point about solely relying on Christianity as the single point at which all faith should lie is to ignore the teachings of Buddha and the diversity of Hinduism, and it's just it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and what's funny too is like they'll always say that this country was founded with Christian values. No, the fuck it wasn't.
Not even remotely.
I mean, if you knew anything about Thomas Jefferson, you would try to take those words back instantly. And if it was, we wouldn't have gone to the moon. Some of you think we haven't. We wouldn't have satellites. You know that? Because everyone would have been way too afraid of hitting that fontanette, whatever, the solid fucking thing that surrounds the earth in the Bible.
Yeah.
So no,
firmament.
That's
the firmament.
Firmament.
Yeah.
There it is. The firmament. Yeah. They would have been too scared. Like they would have been like, obviously we'll die.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna hit the ceiling.
Right.
Like, so no.
I don't know. So so Donald Trump's prayer breakfast, I guess, was a success. I don't.
That's the other thing too. Barrett, there's no measurables. It can't be a failure or a success.
Exactly. Oh, it can be a failure.
I think you just quantify it as a waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
Well, that's done.
Lastly, I wanted to tell you I watched War Machine on Netflix this weekend.
I saw that.
I enjoyed it. And ultimately, I'm going to say I think that if I know that there are people that don't believe that if extraterrestrials come down and visit us, or whatever, they think that because they've traversed light years of the galaxies and universe, that they're here with not ill intent. But I disagree. I think the likelihood is that aliens come. It is going to be an absolute slaughter.
Was War Machine about aliens?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's a solid. It was out there.
Yeah.
Alan Richardson's in it.
Yep. Alan Richardson. Yeah. He's fantastic. I like him.
Yeah. I gotta check it out now. I've been binging Ted season 2.
Oh, is it? See, I haven't even stepped up and watched that yet. It's fantastic.
The dad meets Clinton.
No, okay.
And fucking Clinton goes off on his ass.
Well, that's two
dog's vagina.
That's 2 endorsements. That's 2 endorsements. One for Ted season 2, and one for War Machine on Netflix. So
one thing that he said that I can't get out of my head. It's not really a spoiler. It's just one of the myriad of jokes in there. The wife goes, "Honey, how is your stools? Are they any better?" He's like, "No, it's still a pile of eyebrows."
Okay.
Oh my god.
No context on that one. Watch Ted season 2 on Peacock.
Shreds of shit. Looks like a pile of eyebrows.
I really do enjoy Best Medicine on Paramount CBS. It is basically the American version of Doc Martin from the UK, which was early 2000s, which was another fantastic show. The most recent episode actually had Martin Clunes, who played Doc Martin, now plays Martin Best's father. And he came on the show and with his wife and whatnot.
Look at that.
So fantastic.
Full circle.
I love it. Doc Martin, if you've never seen Doc Martin, absolutely one of the most enjoyable British dark, British humor sort of shows that you could watch. I think it had like 9 seasons, so pretty good.
Damn.
All right.
There you go.
It's going to do it for this episode. Thanks, Zach.
Not a problem. Thank you, Barrett.
I feel better about my week having been able to, use your therapy session here, and really helps.
Yeah.
It's going to do it for episode number 298.
Invoice is on the way, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Episode 298. We only got 2 more episodes before we hit the 300 mark. Is this episode 298? Now I can't remember. Now I have to check. Should be. It should be episode 298 because last week was 297.
It's 300. We're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been told we should do something special for our 300, which I guess we'll record in a couple weeks, but I can't think of anything special to do,
A 24-hour record-a-thon.
I can't publish a 24-hour podcast episode. That's ridiculous. I could take maybe the top, 100 minutes out of it, but that...
I know while we're live.
Yeah, exactly. So links to all of our past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, and social media are available at our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, why not become an official Nothing and support the show? Members get early access to this episode as well as exclusive content. Visit members.theallaboutnothing.com or find a link on our webpage. You can also give a one-time donation through the same link. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can call and leave us a message, 803-672-0533, or email the show at theallaboutnothing.com. You can join our Discord server as well. Links found on our webpage. Thanks for listening, everybody. You all stay safe, be kind, and
keep your hands to yourself.
The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Big Media and produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow Everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. You can follow me across social media by visiting Linktree/Barrett Gruber. And you can follow Zach King on Linktree/AAN Zac. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available that give you early access to episodes episodes as well as exclusive content. To find links to our social media, podcast platforms, and merchandise to support the show, as well as past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email theshow@theallaboutnothing.com, or you can call our number and leave a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our sister shows. What the Pod Was That with Carrie, Zach, and myself. Welcome to Wonderland with Ami. Politically Speaking with Erica, Kirsten, and Emily. And Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jameel Brooks and Bill Kimmler. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and punch that notification bell. Thank you for listening, and hear us next week. The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media LLC. Copyright 2026.